the question I had for you was like, what drove you when you were an amateur working your way up to the UFC and through your whole fight career and combat sports career? Like what was your driving force there?
Man, I never even went amateur. I went straight out of college right into pro.
Well, in your wrestling though, I mean, you were an NCAA runner up. I mean, that's pretty damn high level.
Man, I mean, honestly, like starting out wrestling when I was younger, that was my dad getting me into it. I was 5 years old, and I still remember driving to my very first wrestling practice. And back then I just thought wrestling was what you saw on TV with the turnbuckles in the ring. And I remember sitting we had a big red Suburban and driving over there and, just being so excited to get up on the top turnbuckle and do jumps and flips. And I remember sprinting. We parked. I sprinted from the parking lot all the way to the gym door. And I remember opening it and just this smell of just, stinky old gym comes out, and I look in and I'm like looking around. It's just like these weird foam mats with, big circles on them. And I'm like looking around like, what the heck is this? There was no turnbuckle, no ring at all. And that's just a memory that never left my head. I was so kind of disappointed, but ended up figuring out what wrestling was eventually and loved it. But, we just never took a year off all the way up through college. I mean, I think wrestling as a kid was probably something more that I did because my dad wanted me to, I'm guessing. I enjoyed it, but I didn't know any different at that time.
Yeah. Well, very few 5-year-olds decide that they want to wrestle. I mean, they like looking in the padded room and thinking that looks pretty cool. But then when when wrestling practice actually starts, it pretty much sucks, right? Like it's the hardest thing you've ever done. And if your dad's not there, kind of saying, "No, this is good for you. Trust me, this is going to be good for you." And look, I think you're going to be pretty good at it. I don't know. Yep. I mean, it's a culture.
Played a few other sports mixed in there, like. I did water polo for like 4 years, and I would do that basically right before wrestling season started just to get in shape. And man, I gotta tell you, I'd sink I do not float. So water polo was extremely tough for me, and I would get in such great shape before wrestling season and then would just jump right into it, through basically 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade is when I did it. And then getting to high school, what motivated me was getting scholarship to college. So I did everything I felt like I needed to do to be as successful as I could in high school to get recruited. I got recruited, went to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. And then basically through college, I think it was my sophomore year when I finally went and did like a wrestling camp with Faber. I was like a teacher and he was a teacher, and he was training for a fight and he kept hurting all the other wrestlers. He's doing jits and nobody else is doing that. And so he's like, I got to leave, or I need to train. So I just jumped in there with him, not knowing anything. We rolled for like an hour, and he's like, dude, you're going to be good at this. If you finish your college career, and then you can come up to Sacramento and move in with my spare bedroom and just train with us. So that's basically my sophomore year is when I made my mind up. I'm going to go fight for a little bit after college. Mainly because, I was still going to be very young. I didn't really want to go get a office job or go get a job right away, especially if I could jump into something that's going to make good money. But the thing I told myself was, look, I'll try this for a little bit. If I suck at it, I'll go get a real job. If I'm good at it, screw it. I'll just do it for a while. Ended up being good at it, and, ended up fighting up through the UFC ranks. So, man, it was crazy. A lot of different steps in my life to get me where I'm at now, but I wouldn't change any of it.
If you like this clip, be sure to like and subscribe. You can also check out the full podcast at the link below, or search Tom Rowland Podcast in your favorite podcast platform. You can always go to the website, www.tomrowlandpodcast.com, to find this and over 500 other episodes that you might like as well. Thanks for watching.